something. Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. I think that may have solved the issue. Can you hear me now? All right, let me know if you can hear me. Let's see. Can you hear me? All right, let's see. I think the microphone does show to be intact. All right, let me know if you can hear me. Let me see if I can check it out on a different channel. Let's see. Because I don't know if y'all can hear me, but okay. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Let's see. All right. Can you hear me? No, it does seem to be muted. Okay. Oh, I'm good now. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I had a delay on my end. I was checking on my channel. Okay. Yay. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. I hope we have no more hiccups. The actual mute button on the speaker was disconnected. So here we are. New setup. I have, can you all see the overlay with the chats going over the screen? I did put the overlay there so y'all can kind of see your conversation. Let's see if I can see it. So let me know if you can see the chats. Okay. Welcome, 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 welcome. Well, I can see it if y'all can't see it. I wanted you all to be able to hear, to all see the chats. So today's conversation. Did Coach Prime sign a contract with the Colorado Buffaloes and it's discreet? That is one topic that came up earlier today. It was reported. Thank you. Thank you. It was reported. Thank you, Saeed. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for your super chat. It went towards the new live stream provider. So thank you all very much. But the topic of conversation is, it was discussed earlier today that Coach Prime has possibly signed a discrete contract with Colorado. Now, I did not see that in the news. I went to look for it, but it could have been a late development. So did anybody hear any news that Coach Prime has signed a contract? Because I didn't hear anything. All right. So that's the topic of conversation. Well, if that hasn't happened, what I wanted to talk about is, okay, so yesterday we got together and we watched the college football playoffs, right? And we saw Ohio State with a $20 million. First, but Notre Dame came backwards. But this is the question. This is the takeaway from Ohio State winning. Is $20 million for an NCAA college football team roster now the standard to win the national championship? In other words, will Colorado have to try to, and Coach Prime need $20 million to win the national championship? That's going to be the question moving forward, because as y'all know, everybody talked about, oh, Gracie, you said yes. You have to let me know what you're saying yes to. So everybody talked about how Ohio State spent $20 million, right? And even though they were the number 8 seed, they still managed to make it to the playoffs. So that meant number 1 through 6, those teams were knocked out. And the number 8 seed spent $20 million. Not only did they make it to the national championship, they won the national championship. Do y'all feel like $20 million is now the NIL standard to win a national championship? So that's the question. Playback speed is behind. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's see. Now that's gonna be something I don't know how to resolve. Let's see. As as far as I know, thank you, Gracie. Thank you. So I heard the playback speed is behind. I don't know why the playback speed is behind. So I'm new to Restream. I'm gonna have to try to figure that out offline. Hopefully, y'all can bear with me, but let me see if there's anything regarding playback speed right fast that I could adjust. Let's see. I'm looking at the settings while I'm talking to y'all. Video. Let's see. No, nothing about the speed. Video resolution is on auto, high definition, or standard, so it's on automatic. General. Let's see if it says anything about the playback speed. That doesn't say anything about the playback speed. Okay, I don't know how to get over that on this stream. So, I'm gonna have to do some research on that one and try to figure that out. Can y'all hear me? And is it like really, really bad? Like, is it severely delayed? Because I don't see how I can affect that. I see the chat. I hear the background music. I can see everything that I set up. I can see. Thank you, Saeed, for your. Thank you for that. And let's see. Can y'all see the chat overlay? This is new, so I have to figure it out. Can y'all see the chat overlay? Saeed, thank you very much. Thank you, Saeed. I'm trying to figure out how to star that. Okay, so I pinned it. Thank you, Saeed, for your donation. I did pin it at the top. Let me know if you see it. Thank you so much. Let's see what else is being said here. Playback speed is behind. Okay, thank you. I am going to have to try to figure that out. Yes, we can hear you. You just a little bit behind a little bit. Okay, thank you. I have to try to take that up with Restream and figure it out. Thank you, Saeed. I appreciate it. Gracie, you see the chat or you see the pinned comment? Y'all gonna have to let me know because I can't see it. Let's see. I'm gonna have to look on another device and try to see what I can see right fast. All right, let's see if I can see my all right, let's see. Here we go. Okay, yeah, I can see that it's behind. So what I probably need to do and see if I can let somebody check your settings and see if you can affect the playback speed of this particular live stream by going to the live stream and opening it and see if there's like a setting for the playback. I doubt it, but I'm a techie, so that just helps me troubleshoot. Oh, let's see. I'm checking myself. Top messages, all messages. Okay. I don't know why it's behind though. I do see where it's behind, but I don't know how to remedy that, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm trying to make it a great experience and during the process of getting, I would say 90% together. It's not. Okay. I do not see any other settings that I could manipulate on this live stream while it is live to change a playback setting. I don't see it, guys. I see it's delayed, but I don't know. The question is, can you hear me? Because I don't think. Okay. I think I can hear it, but I can see that I'm on another screen and it is delayed. I don't see it, guys. I see it's delayed, but I don't know. Okay. The question is, can you hear me? Okay, so I can hear just a little bit on another device that I am behind a little bit, but I honestly can't fix it on this live stream. So I hope that y'all bear with me. So we started out talking about, did anybody hear whether or not Coach Prime did sign the contract. I didn't hear anything like that. And I wanted to, if he didn't sign a contract, I wanted to talk about, since Ohio State won the national championship with a $20 million roster, is that going to be the gold standard now for college football teams? That's what I was getting at. So if you can hear me, feel free to respond to it. And when I get off of this live stream, I'll try to see if I can adjust. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything. Okay, let me see. I know how to check something right fast. All right, I need somebody on the other end to do me a favor while I'm trying to get this live through. I'm going to check to see if I can do a frequently asked questions right fast with Restream. All right. Whether you're multi-streaming 2 channels or 20, the delay is always 2 seconds or less. It said a platform may have additional delays depending on how quickly they encode the incoming video. Any such delay on the platform side is normal and will still be present even if you're not streaming. So, that's not good. So basically it's saying that there is a delay. Am I delayed in my speech, or am I like, what does the delay look like? That's going to be the question. That's going to be the question. It says a 2-second delay, but does it seem more than 2 seconds? Oh, let's see. All right. I guess I'm going to keep going to try to figure this out. It said 2 seconds. Let me know if the delay is longer than 2 seconds. All right, guys. So what I am doing is trying to get a conversation started regarding, is $20 million the gold standard for NIL? Let me know your thoughts on that. And that's what I want to talk about today. Because with Coach Prime signing a new contract and reportedly being asked or asking or inquiring for more money, the question is, how much money is sufficient for Colorado in order to make it to the national championship? Well, not to make it, but to win, because we saw that Notre Dame made it. And I don't believe Notre Dame had anywhere near $20 million for NIL. At one point, a few years ago, even after NIL came on board, Notre Dame was slow to kind of adopt NIL, kind of like with Clemson, where we saw some resistance there. So I guess that's my question, from a business perspective. Ohio State won with $20 million. What is $20 million the gold standard? If not, as Colorado Buffalo fans, how much do we really think is sufficient to be competitive with Ohio State? Oh, okay. A difference in the lip. Okay, I don't know how to fix that. And the sound being heard. Okay, all right. I get it now. That makes sense. Thank you, Gracie. I have no idea how to fix that. I don't even think that's something I could fix. As a techie, I'm a tech person. As a tech person, I definitely can't manipulate the delay unless YouTube has a delay. And I've seen people, live stream, but I haven't seen their words in their mouth be different. So I don't know about that one. I mean, all I can do is discontinue this and try to figure it out and try to fix it, but that's about it. It says audio. Let me check audio. Echo cancellation, noise, default speaker, Realtek audio output. Okay, wait a minute. I think I might know one of the issues. Hold on one second. Realtek. AMD. Okay, so the input is one thing and the output is something else. And I'm wondering if that has something to do with it. Let's see. Advanced options. Stereo, audio input, high resolution, auto gain control. All right, let's see. Can you? I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure this out. Okay, so what it's doing is testing my microphone. All right. but the audio output is all right. So let's see. All right, let me know. Okay, did that fix the issue? What does that say? I don't know if it's gonna be the gold standard, but I do. Let me know if the delay was fixed, by the way. Um, let me know if the delay was fixed. Difference in your lips moving and sound. Let's see. What does that say? Dukes the Scoop reported on his podcast today that Notre Dame was fairly close to what Ohio State spent. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, maybe that is the gold standard. I know about 2 years ago, right when Marcus Patterson got to Notre Dame, they barely had NIL. So they must have basically ramped up their coffers. And one of the complaints was, and so maybe that kind of does speak to the standard is pretty high. Because Notre Dame, I think in Marcus Patterson's first year, how long has he been there? I remember reading in the comments, they were going in at Notre Dame. And one of the conversations was, we can't be mad at the coach or the team. We have to be upset that Notre Dame didn't have the NIL back then. So apparently they went out and got it. And now, apparently they went out and got it. And essentially, that might be the standard. Let's see how much NIL they had. Let's see. Notre Dame NIL budget. Let's see what they have. Notre Dame. Whew. Notre Dame is private, doesn't have to release its financials. Oh, okay. So essentially it says, but it's almost certainly almost the sport's highest echelon. Its football budget in 22 and 23, a number that is submitted to the Department of Education under slightly different format. So the budget was 71 million, but it doesn't say how much the NIL was. It says Ohio State spent the most money on NIL, but it didn't say. Does Notre Dame have a collective? It's called Friends of the University of Notre Dame, FUND, the nonprofit NIL collective supporting the Fighting Irish, generated over $20 million in revenue last year, according to a copy of its most recently filed tax return. So in 2024, the collective itself generated $20 million, but that doesn't mean that was for the football team. Thank you, Gracie. Maybe it's trying to catch itself up. That doesn't mean, so $20 million in the collective was specifically for football. What you would have to do is, I'd have to do some research, or somebody can Google it. If Friends of Notre Dame, FUND, is specifically for football. If the answer to that question is yes, then they did raise $20 million. But if that's for the entire university, because it said Friends of Notre Dame, it didn't say it was for football. If that's how much was generated for football only, then it is highly possible that they had $20 million. Collective football would need contracts, unions, and collective bargaining soon. I agree. Because if we're talking about funding players, a team, and understand this, just because there was $20 million in the coffers does not mean that everybody was paid $500,000. So yesterday, after the game, I think we talked about on the podcast that Ohio State paid its quarterback somewhere between $1 to $2 million, reportedly, allegedly. That's how much they were going to pay for a quarterback. The question is, did Will Howard get $2 million? I have to look into that. Then it said that they were willing to pay, Ohio State was willing to pay $1 million per, like, the offensive lineman, like an offensive tackle. And that didn't say it was for everybody. But I'd have to look up Friends of Notre Dame to see. Let me see it. Let me do some quick research if Friends of Notre Dame is better. Friends of Notre Dame Collective. So I'm going to try to see right fast if we can find out some things. Because that's a lot of money. The program is funded through profit sharing. Okay. The football program? Okay. what does it say? It says Dukes the Scoop said that they spent, and they don't disclose, so he might know somebody on the ground over there. Dukes the Scoop might. The standard would be between 10 to $15 million. I agree. $20 million is a lot of money. I mean, I think we got to be. I know when you're used to hearing big numbers all the time, when you get in a conversation, you're talking billions, millions, 20 million, 50 million. It doesn't sound as big as it was because we kind of desensitized to it. But $20 million for one football team is a heck of a lot of money. But it cannot be denied that number 8 seed beat UT and now Notre Dame to win the championship. And I don't think UT had $20 million last year. If so, they just got it. I think I checked and they had like $5 million. They didn't have $20 million. But I do find it interesting that if the contract extension for UT's coach looks like they gave him one additional year at UT. I'd have to go back and look. But I do find that interesting, knowing that they have Arch Manning coming in. And it's almost like if he just had a 1-year extension for $12 million are they giving him time to see how he's going to do with Arch Manning? Or is he like 4 years into a 6-year contract and essentially he has like 3 more years? Coach Prime allows his team to do commercials and represent brands, real NIL. Yeah, he does. He does. Some people said they felt like that was a lot of the issue at Colorado. And when you look at, I think in 23, maybe they had 24 people on NIL out of the whole team. I could see where there was some type of issue. But in 2024, I don't know what the real numbers were. Let's see. Okay, let me know if the delay got any better, guys. That's what I'm trying to figure out, if the delay actually got any better. All right, so I don't know. Let me know while we go through this conversation. Let's see. Well, here's the thing. The question will be, if Friends of Notre Dame could raise $20 million, Ohio State could raise $20 million, what is Colorado going to do? Because the $22 million cap is not going to be sufficient for just the football team. So, Colorado basically changed its rules so that it could pay players directly. But that $22 million that they're allowed to spend on NIL or sports or pay players directly isn't just for the football team. So the question is, what are they going to do if Colorado didn't even raise $5 million in it? If they have never raised $5 million in NIL before, are they going to be able to get anywhere near 20, 15, or $10 million? And that is going to make a big difference when we're talking about being competitive, because I can assure you the likes of Oregon, UT, even Texas A&M, whether they make it to the top or not, those schools, Alabama, they will be able to get close to that 20 million, if not more. I mean, I don't know, if it's going to help, to win, but, the point is, I know that they can raise that money. There may be pay-for-play athletes on the Buffs, not sure. Well, it wasn't supposed to be pay-for-play, but with the new rules, Saeed, allow for the University of Colorado to pay the players directly now. What's that going to look like? Is it going to be the quarterback gets one amount? Is it going to be evenly distributed like a stipend? I don't know. Even Ohio State didn't had disparity in pay, with the quarterback being valued at $2 million and $1 million for the offense. And I didn't see any numbers pertaining to receivers, defensive backs, defensive linemen, the punter, the kicker, that type of thing. So this is a conversation that actually has to be had. And when schools are like, okay, Ohio State won with $20 million. Okay, cool. Well, we have $20 million and I'm a hypothetical university getting ready to set up my NIL. So I'm like, okay, we have $20 million. We can raise $20 million. So the boosters are in. So we have the money. Here is the question. Even if you follow the new guidelines that Colorado is following, where you pay the players directly, how do you determine who to pay and what amount? So you pay everybody, right? What amount? Do you follow the hierarchy that Ohio State had? The most money goes to the quarterback, or does the most money go to your star wide receiver? Imagine Travis Hunter going back to college this year, right? And him going to the University of Colorado and they have $20 million to spend. You have Shedeur Sanders, you have Travis Hunter. Are you trying to tell me you're going to pay Shedeur Sanders $2 million and Travis Hunter a potential Heisman? We're talking, haven't won a Heisman yet. Or both the Heisman candidates. You're going to pay Shedeur $2 million and Travis $1 million? I know one thing. Ohio State's wide receiver, the freshman, Jeremiah Smith, I'm just going to put it on out there. If Ohio State does not compensate him handsomely, somebody else will. And they are probably already talking about it. Because if we could get Jeremiah Smith, if we could get Jeremiah Smith, I would say absolutely. That young man is a freshman and he has hands. And I didn't see any amount listed for how much Ohio State paid its receivers. But I'm going to say this. If they don't value him somewhere between $1.5 million and $2 million, he might end up on another squad. Each player has an evaluation. Okay, so that's good. But y'all be honest. How would you determine to pay your NIL players? Because you're not going to tell me you're going to pay Shedeur Sanders $2 million and Travis Hunter $1 million. Be honest. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. So that's what I mean. How do you determine, okay, Bryce Underwood, he's paid $10 million. How much of the receiver is going to be paid? He has to have somebody to throw to. You know what I mean? So to me, it's lopsided if you pay your quarterback $10 million, but then you pay each of your receivers $1 million. That means you think your receivers are mediocre and you think your quarterback is extraordinarily talented. So what does that mean? You need to go back to the drawing board and find some equal wide receivers that are equal to your quarterback in talent. Let me know your thoughts. So that's where I am in terms of how do you pay your players if $20 million is the gold standard to get to the championship, if it's true that Notre Dame paid just as much money as Ohio State. So they both are in the championship, but Ohio State wins. So the question is, how do you pay your players if your boosters, one, can match that amount of money? Two, if they say, okay, we're going to pay the players directly, how does the pay structure look? Is there a hierarchy, meaning the quarterback and everybody else? Or is it based on talent? I have Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State who has hands. Do I pay him more than I pay the quarterback? Those are real questions that have to be solved and will likely create a disparity amongst the team. When you look at Michigan paying Bryce Underwood $10 million, they're going to have to get somewhere close for their receivers or somebody to protect him, the offensive line. So who do you pay? Quarterback, offensive line? That's what I saw from Ohio State. Or do you pay to make sure that Bryce Underwood has players to throw to? Hey, Regina. New setup. I'm told that there's a slight delay. We're trying to figure it out behind the scenes. While I'm talking, we thought maybe it was the speaker. So let me know. I hope it's not too bad, but it's latency is the term. So I hope that it's not too bad because I kind of like this provider. I went with Restream and I was telling Saeed and everyone else, all of you on the platform, that your presence as well as your super chats made it possible. So UT NIL Fund is a collective by the name of Texas One Fund. It spent $13 million last year, apparently, The number for this year has not been posted. So Gracie, was that 13 million for the entire university athletics program, or was that 13 million dollars for the football team? Because that makes a big difference. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Regina. So we're trying to do some research. If anybody has the ability to Google Notre Dame's fund, FUND, Friends of Notre Dame, we're trying to see if Friends of Notre Dame is similar to Division Street at Oregon. Division Street is an NIL collective specifically for basketball and football. The question is, Friends of Notre Dame, that's their NIL collective. If somebody can look it up, and I'll try to look it up myself to see if it is like Division Street, specifically to two sports or one sport, or is it for the entire university? You can't tell what evaluated freshmen will do. Proven transfer portal athletes can do well. I mean, that's true. That's true. But thank you, Saeed, for that. That's a good comment. That is true. However, we did have players from the transfer portal who came to Colorado and they did make it. So you really can't go by that. The question is, once you commit to paying a player, once you decide on how you're going to pay players, one, if you're going to go hierarchy, quarterback and then everybody else. Quarterback $2 million, receivers $1.5 million, offensive line $1 million. Or you're just going to go on a player by player basis. Okay, Bryce Underwood gets $10 million, and then we might give the O-line and or the receivers $1.5 million each. You have to figure that out. And to me, that's going to be, that could create a disparity in the team, because one of the things I said was, I think it was last year, Colorado had 24 players on NIL. And we talked about how that might have been why some of the players were disgruntled. And then we also talked about how UT paid its offensive line $50,000. Now, I don't know if that was $50,000 each or $50,000 as a collective. But the point is, they got compensated as an O-line. So see, there's all kind of structures you could follow. And do you prioritize the O-line because they have to protect the quarterback? Do you prioritize the defensive line because, hey, you can't leave us out because defense wins championship? Do you prioritize the receivers? Because the quarterback has to have somebody to throw to. That's where we're headed with NIL. And with this type of money, there has to be rules or contracts in place. Because if I pay you $1.5 million for the season, does that mean you can leave after the season and go somewhere else and collect another 1.5? Or is it going to be 1.5 million for 2 years? The point is, there has to be some type of contract in place, not just your scholarship. It has to be $1.5 million for what duration? And what are the rules if I want to transfer out? It could be a year by year basis. And this is another problem. Say you lock in your quarterback for $10 million like Bryce Underwood is. Is Bryce Underwood locked in for multiple years? Or is he locked in for 1 year for $10 million? These are all going to be questions that these NIL collectives, or in the case of Colorado, the athletic department, because that's who will be paying players now, has to sit down and try to figure out, if I'm going to get boosters to donate $20 million, how do we distribute it? Who do we prioritize in terms of quarterback, receivers, offensive line, defensive backs, the kicker, the punter, right? All of that is huge, because you might have a player on defense. Remember Nakai Hill-Green? Nakai Hill-Green was a beast. And he was excellent when it came to the sacks and tackles. So do we prioritize individual players or units? Those are all questions. I would look at transfers that started, how well they do. Okay, so Saeed, good comment. Would you sign them to a contract, or would you expect that the NIL money is year over year? Backups on a good team is another matter. Yeah, backups on a good. Yeah, well, most backups on a good team that are really good can hop in the transfer portal and have been going to another school. But then look, we lost Nakai Hill Green due to eligibility. He was out of what's called undergrad eligibility. So he had to transfer to another university. And to me, I think that's a rule that needs to be done away with. Why does it matter if you have undergrad eligibility and you have eligibility for grad? I don't see why you should have to transfer to another school in your last year just because you were here undergrad. That's another issue. So there's all kinds of issues surrounding NIL, but I think the most interesting conversation will be: can we compete with Notre Dame? Can we compete? By we, I mean CU. Can we compete with Notre Dame? Can we compete with UT? Can we compete with Alabama, Ohio State? If the information is correct from Google, they spent 5.86 million on football. That's about right. If you're talking about UT, because I did do some research on UT previously, and $5.5 million is what came up. In addition to the monetary $5 million, I do believe that they had deals. For instance, when he plays for the Atlanta Falcons now, Bijan Robinson, when he was at UT, one of the deals that they had for the collective at the time was that the football team, and not the entire football team, I believe select players or starters, they figured it out. They were driving leased Lamborghinis because there was a Lamborghini dealership in UT that became a sponsor of the NIL collective. Somebody can figure out like who got the Lamborghinis. Was it the quarterback and the star running back? That's the same kind of conversation we're having right now regarding when we pay these players going forward. Who do we pay? Who do we prioritize? And do we sign them to a contract? Good evening, Coach. What she said, peace and blessings, family. Thank you, Kiel. We have a new setup. I hear there's some type of delay. So let me know, Kiel, if you hear a delay, bear with me. I'll have to kind of tweak it once I get off and maybe try to test it out. Because I wasn't expecting there to be a delay between the audio and the video. So you let me know what you come up with. Let's see. So yeah, they're saying that it seems like the audio for the input is good, but the output might be causing a problem. I would have to check it out. But it says that noise suppression is on and echo cancellation is on, along with stereo audio input and high resolution audio. So it's a whole lot of parameters here for audio. So you have to let me know. But I do see where it is some type of delay potentially. I hate that because this is my first live stream with this new live stream provider, Restream. So I have to figure it out. All right, y'all. So that's what we're talking about. If $20 million is now the gold standard for college football teams, NCAA teams who desire to go to the national championship, if $20 million is the gold standard. And the question that we should be asking ourselves, in addition to that boosters will have to ask themselves, is how do they prioritize who to pay? So now we have $20 million. How do we structure the payments? Hierarchy or player by player? And then do we put contracts in place? Do we try to can we tie it to a contract for 1 year or more? That's another question. Girl, it is snowing in Atlanta. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is snowing in Atlanta. I wanted to post a picture, but I ain't get a chance. I might post it maybe in my posted section on YouTube. It is snowing in Atlanta. Is it snowing? Gracie, you live in the suburbs. Is it snowing out? I'm assuming it's snowing out there too. Yes, it is snowing in Atlanta. I thought you were in Atlanta, Saeed. Yes, it is. It is. The ground is covered. It looks like a winter wonderland here in Atlanta. I think Gracie is Gracie, if you're in the suburbs, is it snowing out there in Atlanta? You're in Norcross. Oh, okay. Is it snowing in? I would expect it to be snowing in Norcross. Is it? That's not too far away. That's is that north? I think that's north, right? And it's snowing in Virginia also. Ooh, okay. And I talked to my family in Houston. They sent me photos. It was snowing in Houston, but I think they said the snow has already possibly melted or is beginning to melt in Houston. Did you see CU players working out today? I did. I did. I saw Governor, the young man who's Irish, I think. I don't think he's. I saw the Australian, the new player from Australia. I saw Governor, the one that does like the school song, and he'll lead them in chants. I think he's from Irish, but from Ireland. I did. I saw them doing like those butterflies where they take the weights and their arms are stretched out. I was like, I need to try that. I think Governor said this was one of the most intense first days that he's experienced. He said some first days, at least I thought that's what he said, some first days aren't like this. So yeah, I did take the time to watch out their first day back. I also watched DJ McKinney. I think they had a day in the life. So yeah, did anybody watch Mama T's interview on Uncle Neely? I didn't watch it. We talked about it yesterday, but I didn't watch it. North Atlanta. Okay, I thought that was north. Okay, so we're talking about the snow. Well off just posted his video. Okay, all right. So yeah. Oh, I like Duke the Scoop's podcast. I like his new live stream. It's pretty good. If y'all like, I don't know if he's still on Well Off Media, or it looked like he's with the pregame show, or he's posted on both. I don't know. But I do like him. I think he's good because he has what I call a front row seat. Like he has conversations with Coach Prime. So he's gonna know before anybody knows. Him and Uncle Neely. Duke the Scoop, Uncle Neely. Oh, you know who else has a front row seat now? Y'all know who Chesney is? I think he used to play in the NFL, and I think he went to Colorado. He's a podcaster too. But I heard that he might be interviewing for the co-offensive line job. So y'all know last year we had one coach, right? Lode Hope, who went to Ole Miss. So this year, Coach Prime took the offensive line role and split it into two. So there's one coach, Hegeman, I think, who is from the NFL. I think he played at the Cowboys with Coach Prime or something like that, but he was in the NFL. The other one is Chesney. That's his last name. It's either Mark or Mike Chesney. He is a CU alum. He's an NFL alum, and he said it on his own podcast that he had a conversation with Coach Prime, and it was surrounding the co-offensive line. And Coach Prime was saying to him that even if he didn't join as a co-offensive lineman, not that he wouldn't, he still wanted him to be like Duke the Scoops, like right there on the ground. So, Coach Prime has his people in place. Duke's the Scoop, possibly Chesney. I'm hoping Chesney comes on as the co-offensive line coach. I think that would be good to have two NFL alum offensive coaches on the offensive line, because we've struggled with this so much. And one of the reasons I think we struggled last year was because Lode Hope wasn't very efficient with making adjustments. He just wasn't. He had the motto, just like the Detroit Lions with Jared Goff and number 89, Mark Andrews. He had the philosophy of, okay, yes, I see them struggling, but they'll get it eventually. I'm assuming it was they'll get it eventually. But there are people that are willing to lose games rather than make adjustments. And to me, that was one of Load Host's issues. And if I'm not mistaken, Chesney actually talked about that on his podcast. And it was said in another podcast that Phil Load Host had an issue with what Chesney said regarding Load Host's time at Colorado. Governor's still there. Yes, he must have some eligibility because he's still there. Unless and I don't, if you don't have any, you can't play. So yeah, he was working out with the team. I saw the new guy, the Australian. I don't think I saw anybody past them. I saw the beginning of it. And then I was trying to set up this podcast because the thing is funny is now I've been reviewing different live stream platforms, right? So yesterday it was so funny. I was still hemming and hawing about it because I'm particular. I don't want something like some of these platforms you can cast to like 5 at once. Well, I'm not like on Twitch. I don't play video games. So I wanted to make sure that I wasn't spending money for something that I wasn't going to use. But I caught myself doing my research, frequently asked questions popped up in my feed. And then I signed up for it. But I was like, I don't know just yet. And this morning, the payment screen popped up. I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and do it. So I'll try to take care of this delay. I just kind of really hate that. But so the Texas football players that had a luxury car deal with Lamborghini were wide receiver Isaiah Bond, okay, and defensive back Michael Taffy. And yes, it's showing. Oh, it's snowing in Flowery Branch, Georgia. Okay, Isaiah Bond. Didn't he go to FAMU? And he must have been there. Was he there this year? He must have been there this year. So it was 2 players that had the Lamborghini deal. Okay, so that shows you that UT prioritizes. And since I know that they paid their offensive lineman $50,000, be it together as a collective or individually, and then to hear the Lamborghini deal went to the wide receiver and a defensive back, they're prioritizing the unit as well as the individuals. So Colorado could do something like that. Now, I'm just going to step out on a limb. Since the school, let's talk about CU, since they already have their rules in place. Since CU is already following the guidance from the settlement, which, by the way, people only have until the 31st to actually file a claim. If CU is following the settlement whereby $22 million is the cap for the entire university's athletic programs, 14 or 15 programs, and they can pay the players directly. I don't know how much the football is going to get, but let's just say football gets $5 million. So if football gets $5 million, they would definitely need additional money from somewhere, as well as deals, kind of like with the Lamborghini deal. And, they already have a dealership, a Ford dealership. I think Jimmy Horn Jr. had an NIL deal with a Ford dealership, and he drove one of their cars. So the question is, can they tap into something like that, where maybe the starters get a car, maybe Nissan, maybe the trucks. Everybody like trucks in Colorado, Texas, Utah. So maybe they can do something like that, because if we're just strictly talking cash payments, they're not going to be able to compete like that. They're not going to have more than probably $5 or $7 million. And unless they have committed to give half, the 10 million, like 10 or 11 million to the Buffaloes, I still say put together NIL deals that compensate the players with gifts like cars. I think that will go a long way. But then if they have cars, that's not very helpful. But I will put together money as well as NIL deals, kind of like what the UT structure that we see. And I'm sure other schools have that too. And I'm not saying it has to be a Lamborghini. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. There has to be something that the school, maybe they could benefit from pairing up with the airlines where they get so many tickets to go home for free. I don't know. Something. But there needs some type of NIL deal, because They're not going to, if they get half that money, that's still only $10-11 million. So, we just have to see how it's going to work out. But Regina, did you hear anything about Coach Prime signing a discrete contract with Colorado today? Somebody talked about it, but I went to Google it and I didn't see it. And I might not be able to find much on Notre Dame because they're private. They don't have to disclose anything. Notre Dame is set up in a sweet spot. All the money that they make from this year, from bowl games, playoff games, the semifinals, as well as the championship, they get to keep their own money. They don't have to split it with anybody. And because the school is private, they don't have to disclose how much NIL they're paying out to whom. The only time people will know about it is when they file their taxes. So to me, they're sitting in a good position. And I have a feeling, because they got to the championship, that if they were close to $15-20 million, that they'll likely get it this year. Because look how much money the football team generated. And that benefits them being independent as well. But I'm sure the school will share the money with the other programs. Friends of Notre Dame. Let's see if we can figure it out. Friends of Notre Dame. Donate online about ways to give. So basically, oh, that's in Paris. That's funny that they call their collective, what? Friends of Notre Dame, FUND? Interesting. Because they're talking about Notre Dame in Paris. That's very interesting. Notre Dame NIL. Championship worthy NIL formula. Okay, so let's see this. Okay, so Notre Dame found a title worthy NIL formula, and it says now it has to pivot. This was written January 17th in 2025 by Amanda Christofich from Front Office Sports. Okay, so it says now they have to pivot. Okay, so I wonder if this has something to do with the settlement. It could. So if y'all like Front Office Sports, that's a good article. When I get off of here, I may put the link into the chat. What does it say? No, Regina, you didn't hear anything. Deuce the Scoop did say today that Coach Prime was working on external marketing deals to help fund the NIL deals. Good, because he's gonna need that. They're not getting half that $22 million. And I think you need gifts in kind, along with cash. So that's good too, Gracie. Thank you, Regina. So you didn't hear anything. It says, Kiel, they are not in a conference for the football program, and they have a own separate TV deal with NBC. Are you talking about Notre Dame? Kiel has a separate TV deal with NBC? Lord. Oh, they just raking in the money. So is Notre Dame in a conference for like basketball, but not football? And that's an interesting decision, why they would make a decision like that. Yeah, I didn't hear anything either. What I did hear, I was watching a podcast from the Vegas Raider fan base. I watch them sometimes. And after Ben Johnson was scooped up by Chicago, the fans have gone back to asking, should they reconsider Coach Prime? But reporters who are like beat reporters for the Vegas Raiders have said that they don't think that the Vegas Raiders were actually interested in Coach Prime, that they were actually pursuing Ben Johnson at the time. So people are asking, well, should we now consider Coach Prime? But I don't think Coach Prime is in the NFL race anymore. I think it was said that he wasn't pursuing Dallas. That's not something he wanted to pursue. And once Ben Johnson's name was mentioned with the Raiders, there was no more mention of Coach Prime, even though the fan base has gone back to Coach Prime. That's what the fan base for the Raiders, some of them are discussing. So I don't think he is going anywhere, but I do wonder what kind of leverage. I don't even know if he has any leverage from that whole NFL situation, considering nobody's pursuing it. to me, I think it was just kind of talk, but to me, he has more leverage on based off of Coach Prime's success at Colorado, and that's not something that you would want to lose. I think there was more leverage there than the actual NFL. Carson Beck also had deals like that before he left UGA. He had a deal with the car dealer because he was driving a Lamborghini. Carson Beck was driving a Lamborghini. And I think also he had a deal with a private jet company. I could see that. See, that's what I'm saying. But like with Coach Prime, like Travis had United Airlines, right? And I know that was his NIL deal. And I don't know if it benefited him in terms of travel, but you would think, that it did. But I could see something like if we partner with Delta Airlines, because I don't know if Delta has a hub in Utah or Colorado. I know they're a hub here in Atlanta, and corporate is here in Atlanta, but they have a hub somewhere else, I'm sure. But imagine whatever airline is a hub to Colorado, if they offered travel for the players. I'm not saying the players in a +1. I mean the actual players, because when it's time for them to go home, instead of them using their NIL money to pay for tickets, they could use the benefit of the NIL deal with the airlines. So to me, I think the airlines will be a big partner. Be it whoever has connections in Colorado. It don't matter if it's Frontier, Southwest, American, Delta, United, or JetBlue. The point is, if you can get benefits for the students, I think that will go a long way. Because some people have cars. So I think it will go a long way to get an airline NIL deal. Kia, yes, you were talking about Notre Dame. Oh, they making the money. Well, they got the money. They definitely have $20 million. Okay. And all the other sports they're in are ACC conferences. So why is the football team independent? Maybe that's a money-making strategy because they keep all the money. And the rest are in ACC. Interesting. That's an interesting strategy if it is. I like it. The football team brings in too much money. And now, instead of me having to share with the ACC and all the money go to the ACC for football, I could just write a check to the other athletic programs. I can give each athletic program $100,000 or $500,000, depending on how many athletic programs they have, based on revenue generation. Because remember, all sport programs are not revenue generating. I like Notre Dame's strategy. I don't know why they like that and how that came to be, but it seems to be advantageous because they get to keep their money in their coffers. And if next year, if they want to spend $30 million on their roster, they can. But Ohio State is in a conference, which means all the money that Ohio State has generated from TV deals, from any naming rights or whatever, anything to do with bowl games, etc. All of that money goes to whatever conference they're in. Is Ohio State in the Big Ten with Oregon? I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know that. So I think the entire athletic department is independent at Notre Dame. I mean, you would think so because I can't see. I mean, I could see some people calling foul. Okay, so everything that you have should be the same, but I don't know. It's a good strategy, though, if the football team is independent and the rest of the sports are tied to revenue sharing. Really, they don't have to give them much money. They're going to give it to them anyway. Just like Alabama football team played for that overly expensive golf facility. I don't think they had a choice. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. I don't think they had a choice. I think Alabama's golf team was like, hey, we're going to need $47 million to pay for this facility. And it's not optional. That's what it feels like, because that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So Notre Dame's athletic department might be independent. Interesting. Well, there's a lot of questions to ponder. Doesn't seem like Coach Prime has signed the contract yet. It'll be interesting to see if they disclose, because they might not disclose. But Colorado is a public university. They are in a conference, so they would at some point, if they get an open records request, and I'm sure it's going to land in athletic director Rick George's inbox. I'm pretty sure. Now, I would be surprised if they give the football team half of the $22 million. I'm not saying they don't deserve it, because I do think they bring in that type of money that they deserve half. But I just don't see that sitting well with people at CU, because I think people will be like, oh no, that's not right. We got to divide it up, etc. But they do deserve half, because they need to be competitive. And if you don't have 20 million and maybe you only have 10 and Coach Prime and NFL Hall of Famers as coaches, maybe you can get to the Big 12 championship, college football playoffs, and maybe even get to the championship game. I don't know. I find it interesting that the two with the $20 million coffers did make it to the Big 12, to the national championship, though. Because I didn't think Notre Dame was spending that kind of money. They came from having almost no NIL 2 years ago to right now just being loaded. But they have money, though, so. And they ask for donations, so. So how's everybody's day going? It's late in the day now. It's 8 o'clock here. Am I still severely delayed, by the way? Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can see if I'm really delayed. I think so. Let's see. So yeah, I guess I am a little bit. But all right, y'all. Well, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I feel like I need to go fix this latency issue, and I hope and pray it is resolvable, because I really set all of this up, and it wasn't overly time consuming, but it took some of my time today, and I like to think my time is valuable. So I'm hoping I can go and get off of here and resolve this latency issue and test it out. Let's see. Let's see. So what? I'm just now getting the comments that Gracie put in the chat about UT on another platform. I'm hoping I'm just not caught up to what's going on. Let me see if I can figure it out. Okay, I just got it. Carson Beck had deals. Okay, good. That was the last one. It says you are good, but we can't hear you good. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay, is that better? Is that any better? I turned the audio up to see if that could possibly help. Let me know if that's any better. And since there's a delay, I guess I have to wait and see if we can't hear you good. So I don't know. I hope I can resolve this. Let's see. All right. It said the Ohio State is Big 10. Okay. So they're with Oregon then. They're Big 10. Okay. Oh, before we go, last topic. Travis Hunter to the Cleveland Browns. Are y'all feeling it? Travis Hunter to the Cleveland Browns. Let me know if y'all are feeling it. Yes. Okay. Yay. Okay. All right. So, okay. If Travis Hunter goes to the Cleveland Browns, the question is, who is the quarterback? Because we know Deshaun Watson is out. Who would be the quarterback in Cleveland? Would it be Jameis Winston, or is it somebody else? If y'all have any insight, let me know. And let me know if y'all like the music too. I can hear the music. Let me know if you can hear it. Oh, and I can't see. See, I'm checking against another platform. I can see the live stream. Yeah. I can see the comments on the screen. Good. I like that. That's why I said I hope this works out. I think this is a good live stream provider. We just got to fix the latency issue. Let's see. We just got to fix the latency issue, and I can see the chat. We can hear you, but you still have a delay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna get off of here and I'm gonna go try to fix this because I find this very, very annoying. Unless y'all cool with it, we can keep going. It's up to y'all. I'm a person, I'm particular. I didn't expect there to be a latency issue. Winston, QB, yes. Travis to the Browns. Okay. So Winston is the QB. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. All right. So if you had one player that the Browns, does anybody know how many picks the Browns have? Assuming they have more than one because they're pretty high up. Which Colorado Buffalo, in addition to Travis Hunter, if you know Travis is going to Cleveland, if he gets to choose anybody from Colorado, who do you think should go? Regardless of the cap space, regardless of anything. This is not what the NFL would do. This is just Colorado fans. What Colorado Buffalo that we know that has declared for the draft should go with Travis Hunter to Cleveland? Let's see. Travis is skilled on offense and defense. Keep that in mind. It's cool here. Okay, cool. So Travis is skilled on offense and defense. So what additional Colorado Buffalo player should go with Travis Hunter to Cleveland? Remember, we have Chidozie Unwaku. We have Cameron Silman-Craig. That's my pick. I think Cameron Silman-Craig should go. We got Jimmy Horn Jr. Ooh, that's a good one too. So we have Travis on receiver, Jimmy on receiver. And then we have LaJohntay Wester, Will Shepherd, Shedeur Sanders. We need to do that. We need to look at the teams that our faves have been predicted to go to. Look at how many picks they have and try to put together a buff package. So if Shedeur is going, hopefully to the Raiders, and nobody's just talking about it. If Shedeur is going to the Raiders, and the Raiders they got 10 picks. They have 10 picks. I think I read that somewhere because when Devontae Adams left for the Jets, they had another pick that was a 4th round pick that they said could go to the 2nd round. That's why I thought Shedeur and Shiloh were going to the same team, the Vegas Raiders. I mean, they also could go to Dallas, but Dak Prescott contract, and I heard that the Dallas Cowboys are looking at Ashton Jeanty. So Jimmy Horn Jr. Okay, I like that. So you think Jimmy Horn Jr. should go with Travis Hunter to Cleveland? Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I could look at the latest mock draft. All right, so let's see. All right, let's talk about Cam Ward. We like Cam Ward, right? Friends of Cam Ward. If he goes as the first pick, he will go to Tennessee, I think. 18 hours ago, latest mock draft. So friends of Cam Ward, who from Colorado should go? Just one person. What one person should go with Cam Ward to Tennessee? Raiders have 8 picks. Oh, they got 8 picks. I thought they had 10 picks. 2 in the first round. Well, the first round pick and 2 others. But okay, I'll take that. I was watching their channel when they were speculating about Shedeur. And one guy was doing like a mock draft. And I thought he said they had 10 picks. But that's fine. We'll take 8. Which one person should go with Cam Ward? Since we're friends of Cam Ward, and if he's projected to go to Tennessee, which one Buffalo, whether it's offense, defense, receiver, linebacker, quarterback, should go? We can't take another quarterback. Should go with Cam Ward to the Tennessee Titans. Let me know when y'all get to that. Okay, Regina's giving us some info. We have Raiders have 8 picks. The Browns have 9 picks. So that means they could take Travis plus 2 more. That's 3. I don't know if they would do that though. But they could. They could. They could. And when they say they have 9 picks, does that factor into undrafted free agency too? Lamont's. What's Lamont, Gracie? Lamont's. Just watched the latest well-off media video. The new strength and conditioning coach is excellent. I'm glad you like him, Saheed, because there was some question on whether or not it was cool or should there be concerns about him. Did you just watch the one where the team worked out today, Saheed? Is that the one? If so, I'm going to have to watch that one, and the full one tonight. LaJohntay. Okay, Gracie said LaJohntay should go with Cam Ward. Is that what you're saying, Gracie? LaJohntay should go with Cam Ward to Tennessee? Okay, I like it. I'm cool. Hey, Kiel. Welcome. Are you at work, Kiel? I forgot. I have to pause when I ask y'all a question because of the delay. I'm going to get it right. So, yeah, I'm going to get that right. Welcome. If you're new to the chat, there's 9 of us here. If you're new to the chat, hit the like button on your way in or on your way out. Thank you so much. Keo said he's cool. Okay. All right. So we have LaJohntay Wester going with Cam Ward. Since we're friends of Cam Ward, we can add Cam Ward to our conversation. To Tennessee. We have Jimmy Horn Jr. going with Travis Hunter to the Browns. All right. So Cam Ward is pick 1. Travis Hunter could be pick 2 to the Browns. Pick 3, Shedeur Sanders. Okay. So Jimmy Horn Jr. is gone. LaJohntay is gone. That leaves Will Shepherd, Cameron Silver Craig, Chidozie Unwaku. Who else? Oh, BJ Green. I'm trying to think who else. All right. So let's talk about pick 3, Shedeur Sanders. Not the Giants. But we're going to talk about it. Pick 3, Shedeur Sanders. Who do we want to go, or who we think should go with Shedeur Sanders to the team he's drafted to? We're going to pretend that the Giants have the number 3 pick, but they don't want to get a quarterback. So they're going to trade that pick to the Las Vegas Raiders. Oh, don't forget Shiloh's out there too. So the number 3 pick in the draft goes to the Las Vegas Raiders by way of a trade with the Giants. They picked Shedeur Sanders. Who should go with Shedeur to Las Vegas? Check out the podcast with Uncle Neely and Dukes that airs out tonight. It's called You Tell Me. Okay, I'm going to have to check that one out. I like their You Tell Me series. I think Dukes is on Uncle Neely's platform now. When he first transitioned from On3, Well Off Media put him on their platform, along with Coach Carl Reed, which that's a good podcast too. But maybe since it's now settled, he's over with the pregame show. And sometimes I see his work on, he has his own channel, but sometimes he's visible on Big Dog Chico and the pregame network. But I think he's on the pregame network. I will watch that tonight, Gracie. That's a good one. We might get some new information from the You Tell Me. Remember, Dukes the Scoop has a front row seat. Number 1 ace access to Coach Prime, in addition to Uncle Neely. So those two, between the two of them, I would imagine that Uncle Neely sees Coach Prime more than Dukes the Scoop. But Dukes actually has access to Coach Prime. And I think Coach Prime uses him as a communicator as well. All right, does anybody know who should go with Shedeur, 3rd pick of the draft? We're pretending that there was a trade between the New York Giants and the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders picked Shedeur Sanders with the number 3 pick in the draft. Who should go with Shedeur Sanders? What Colorado or Buffalo? who has declared for the draft should go with Shedeur Sanders to the Vegas Raiders. Any thoughts? I think that's a good one. Should it be Shiloh, Cameron Silver-Craig on defense? What about Justin Mayers? Justin Mayers went to the Hula Bowl and he was a standout player. He is from the offensive line. Let me know your thoughts about that. I think that's interesting. I like this. The mock draft. You say Wester, LaJohntay Wester. Hey, welcome, Queen T. We have a new setup. We're on Restream. There is a bit of a delay. We're going to try to figure it out. We tweaked it a little bit, but it still seems to be a delay. But welcome, Queen T. So Queen T says LaJohntay Wester should go. So Queen, we're on round 3 of our what she said mock draft. And we're also friends of Cam Ward. So Cam Ward, number 1 pick in the draft in Tennessee. We said LaJohntay should go with Cam Ward to Tennessee. I think that's what we said. Then we said number 2 pick in the draft, Travis Hunter should go to Cleveland. And the Colorado Buff that should go with Travis Hunter to Cleveland is Jimmy Horn Jr. Okay, so number 3, we have Shiloh left. Okay, no free agents are not part of the draft. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Thank you for that, Kiel. Because I think we'll have some undrafted free agents. So I just want to see where they could go. All right, so for Shedeur Sanders, number 3 pick in the draft to Las Vegas by way of a trade from the New York Giants. What Colorado Buffalo should go with Shedeur Sanders? Shiloh, Cameron Silver-Craig, LaJohntay Wester, Justin Mayers from the O-line, Will Shepherd, the receiver. It's hypothetical, and it changed. Cam Ward is the number 1 pick in the draft right now, so they need a quarterback. So it is said that, and this is the response to Queen T, it is said that Travis would go number 2 to Cleveland. Instead of Cleveland picking a quarterback, they would pick Travis Hunter. That's what's being said right now. I think Shannon Sharp was like talking about it, saying that Cleveland can't afford to pass up on Travis. Other people were talking about it. So yesterday, Travis had dropped out of the top 3, going to New England, like number 4. But today he's back in it because people are saying that they don't see Shedeur Sanders going to the Cleveland Browns because of, or any quarterback going to the Cleveland Browns because of the Deshaun Watson contract is top heavy and it's not anything you could do with it. So they're thinking they could get Travis Hunter. But if they can't get Shedeur, how can they get Travis? So Shiloh, of course, he's been playing with Shiloh all his life. Okay, all right. So we have 3 picks. We're friends of Cam Ward and LaJohntay Wester going to Tennessee. Then we paired up number 2 pick, Travis Hunter to Cleveland, along with Colorado Buff, Jimmy Horn Jr. That is what y'all said, right? Take Jimmy and pair him up with Travis Hunter. Okay, I like that. And then number 3, we have Shedeur Sanders going to Vegas by way of a trade from the Giants because we don't want him to go to the Giants. And he's going to go with Shiloh to the Raiders. Okay, all right. I'll take it. So we got to get Will Shepherd in there. So what team do y'all think is a good fit for Will Shepherd? Oh, I know. Do the Dallas Cowboys need a receiver? Does anybody know if the Dallas Cowboys need a receiver? If so, the Dallas Cowboys are thinking about Ashton Jeanty, the running back. So maybe we pair up Chidozie Nwankwo to block for him. I like it. I like that. So if Ashton Jeanty, friends of Ashton Jeanty, if Ashton Jeanty goes to Dallas, and I don't know what number pick Dallas is, But I do believe they are a top 10 pick and they pretty high, I thought. Like number 5 or number 6. If New England is 4, I'm thinking maybe Dallas is 5. If that's the case, if Ashton Jeanty goes to the Dallas Cowboys with the number 5 pick in the draft, we should send Chidozie Nwankwo to protect. I like that. Think about it. Chidozie's a beast. Well, he play on defense, so he can't protect him. So do we send Justin Mayers? Man, that's a good one. Or do we send Will Shepherd? Kiel, you laughing. Why are you laughing? If they are reporting it, it's reliable. He was on Well Off Media today, Justin Mayers. Really, what was Justin Mayers doing on Well Off Media today? I didn't see that. I saw DJ McKinney. And that was on Reach the People. So I think I was watching Reach the People Media today. Let me see. I'm trying to see who has, if we're doing the mock draft right. CBS mock draft still has Shador going to Cleveland or Jalen Milroe. Now that would be interesting. That would be interesting if Jalen Milroe goes to Cleveland. I don't see how they could get a quarterback though. I just don't. So Justin Mayers was on Well Off Media today. I did not see that. I will go watch it. Gracie, you said if they are reporting it, it's reliable. If they're reporting what? And Kiel, you're laughing. It says, what you think about Marshall Faulk joining Coach Prime at the Colorado Bus this year? I like it. We might actually get a running game. We're going to need one. Although I'm starting to hear outside of Buff talk, Caden Salter. Does Coach Prime have one? Yep. I'm telling you, I think Caden Salter could take us all the way. So I think Marshall Faulk coming in illustrates that Colorado is serious about the run game, which means not only could he teach technique, he could also, I guess, develop the players. And I think he will be the one calling the plays, right? So if he's calling the plays for the running backs, which I'm hoping, that's the question. Would he just be a position coach where he just basically develops the talent and then we have the OC calling out the run plays? Somebody let me know. Who calls the run plays? The OC or would it be Marshall Faulk? I'm thinking it's the OC. On campus working out. Oh, Justin Mayers was on campus working out. Oh, good. That means we get to see him get ready. You know what I think? Running backs need the O-line to protect. A lot of people didn't realize that last year. So maybe we send Justin Mayers with Ashton Jeanty to protect as part of Dallas Cowboys O-line. I don't know how many picks Dallas has. Let's see if I could get it out. Let's see. Nope. I have no idea what's just happened here. I do not want to. Yeah, okay. It's just weird, but okay. Let's see. Somebody put the picks. Raiders have 8 picks. Browns have 9. Okay. How many does Dallas have? Because I want to package up Justin Mayers and send him as an O-lineman to protect for Ashton Jeanty because we are friends of Ashton Jeanty. And I do believe Dallas has a top 10 pick. Let me see. I don't like CBS's projections, so we're going to do the What She Said mock draft. Dallas might not have a high pick. Oh, they're number 12. CBS has Ashton Jeanty from Boise State. Number 12. That's kind of low. Is that the first running back to go? The man was a Heisman candidate. They have a bunch of receivers and cornerbacks and defensive linemen. Travis is listed as an athlete. Offensive tackle. Is Justin Mayers an offensive tackle? I would say so. If so, they have number 4, Calvin Banks Jr., offensive tackle from Texas. They went number 3. Going to the Patriots instead of Travis. So if that's the case, that means that Ashton Genty is not going until number 12. So we're going to send Justin Mayers to Dallas with Ashton Genty to protect for him. See, I like that. He could be an undrafted free agent if they don't have enough picks. I don't know how many picks Dallas has. If somebody knows, let me know. This is fun. I like this. This is nice. It says Dallas has the 7th pick. Okay, Dallas has the 7th pick. So Ashton Genty is probably going number 7 then. He's the first running back to be taken off the board. I mean, that's fair, but I didn't know it was like below 5. So if Dallas has the 7th pick, okay. Queen T says she liked Marshall Faulk. He was always good. I just think it means that we're taking the running game seriously. And here's what I think about every coach. Warren Sapp, he's an analyst, by the way. Warren Sapp, all these NFL Hall of Famers, what Coach Prime is creating here is a pipeline. And y'all know how slow the NFL is to hire, right? So think about what just happened. Coach Dancy came from Mississippi Valley State, I think. Remember, he was a head coach. So he came to Colorado, and when he left as he came to Colorado as an analyst. Coach Dancy left Colorado with a title of a coach. So him going to Ole Miss, a SEC team, as a coach, and Phil Lodeholt came as an analyst, left as a coach. So 2 coaches left CU and got jobs in the SEC that they likely would have never gotten as coaches. Does that make sense? So you see that pipeline that Coach Prime is building. So that's 2 coaches that went. So right now, Warren Sapp, and I heard Warren Sapp had another job offer, and he turned it down to come coach for Coach Prime. So right now, I think Warren Sapp is listed as an analyst graduate or something like that. So I don't know how long before he gets a coach's title, but it is possible. Maybe after this year, he gets elevated to a coach, and he's actually a coach at Colorado. Who else? Marshall Faulk coming in as a running back coach. Now, does anybody know where Marshall Faulk is right now? Is he at another university? Is he high school? Is he an assistant in the NFL? If you could tell me that, then I could figure out what's possibly happening here. But the message is Colorado is taking its run game seriously. I just don't know. I'm assuming the OC is calling the plays and Marshall Faulk is developing the talent as a position coach. If that is the case, I like it, because some people felt like the running backs we had for the last 2 years, they didn't have, like, remember last night, if you watched, I think they said they thought Omarion, what's his name? Isaiah Agustave. They said they thought he was the only running back that we had that kind of fit the bill of like bursting through. Travion Henderson, number 32 from Miami. I think from Ohio State. I think he's projected to go first round or second round. If you look at his style of play, that's what we need. We need a Marshall Faulk, who a Hall of Famer, I think, who can actually develop the talent and help to recruit, because I know what a running back should look like. I'm a Hall of Famer. So when it comes to recruiting, he can tell Coach Prime, look, I know the recruiting people are finding these people so they can collaborate and make sure we get the right talent. We need a Travion Henderson. I think Isaiah Agustave was the closest to it. Dallas got 10 picks. Dallas got 6 standard picks, but will probably get a total of 10. Okay, the OC coach, they can't be sent to that team. They're going to have to be drafted. What happened? Kia, what are you saying? Anything from Neely and Dukes because of their access. Yeah, I believe that too. Yeah, Neely and Duke, Uncle Neely, if I'm not mistaken, he see Coach Prime every day. I don't think Duke the Scoops is on campus like that. So, but I know he talks to Coach Prime. So he's A1 access. And Chesney, I think if he doesn't become And I'm hoping he becomes the O-line coach. But if he doesn't, I think he's going to also be similar to Duke in terms of communication and disseminating information and, being in the know. I'm hoping he becomes the O-line coach. I think that would be good for the program because, for one, he went to Colorado. Two, he was in the NFL, so he could join that staff, and that could elevate him as well. Dallas got 10 picks. Anything from Neely. Yep, I agree with that. Marshall Falk, he was good to me. Okay. The OC coach. Kiel, when you get a chance, what do you mean by the OC coach? That's who's calling the plays? I think that's what you're saying. It said they can't be sent to that team. They're going to have to get drafted. I don't know that part. 23 ran the ball good this year. I agree, Delay. Isaiah Augustave is his name. And to me, he was the closest to what we needed. I expected more from Savion. What was his name? The guy that came from Ohio State. And is he coming back or is he out of eligibility? Does anybody know if number 7, Dallin Hayden from Ohio State that transferred into Colorado, does anybody know if he has more eligibility, if he'll be able to come back? I think he got hurt though. So that might be why we didn't see him like that. Do not trust Jerry Jones. Don't trust him at all. Kiel, I don't think we're going to, they can't be sent to that team. They're going to have to be drafted. Oh, okay. I don't know who we're talking about. Maybe we're talking about the running back, I guess. Are we talking about Justin Mayers and Dallas Cowboys if he go with Ashton Jeanty? They said Jerry Jones has moved on to another candidate. Did y'all hear who it was? Let me see. Let's see. Dallas Cowboys interviewing. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Aaron Glenn. We need to talk about that. Y'all know who Aaron Glenn is? Right now, he's the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. And I noticed a very interesting move by Detroit. So the first thing Detroit did was, I'm not going to say they gutted their defense, but they kind of did. And they have players that were handsomely paid. They had some on the practice squad. So they signed some new players or some other players to reserve contracts. Now, I noticed they made changes to the defense, but I don't think they made any changes to their offense. And today I heard that somebody is starting to kind of bring it up that there may be an issue with Jared Goff that Detroit is concerned about. So that's the only offensive potential change to come. Now, remember, Ben Johnson, their offensive coordinator, just got hired by Chicago. Some say he felt insulted by the offer that the Vegas Raiders made. I don't know how true that is. I'm not in their orbit like that. But that leaves Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator. And right now, he's projected to land at New Orleans or the Jets. His name came up with the Dallas Cowboys. I think we talked about that. But we said, that's probably not going to materialize. So he's the last one. It was Eddie George and Aaron Glenn were the two that I posted about. If Aaron Glenn don't get a job as a head coach in the NFL, this is going to be interesting. Did we ever talk about Cam Ward's beautiful girlfriend? Yes, Queen T, we did. And Ashton Jeanty's girlfriend. No, I have not seen Ashton Jeanty's girlfriend. We got so caught up with Travis, we missed those. No, we congratulated Cam Ward on his engagement. We talked about his girlfriend. But I never saw Ashton Jeanty's girlfriend, so I didn't know about that. Yes, Aaron Glenn used to. Okay. So, Aaron Glenn is the one to put on the radar. The last head coach that, out of the two that I was watching, Eddie George and Aaron Glenn. Now, here's the interesting part about Eddie George. And Shannon Sharp talked about this today. Do y'all watch Shannon Sharp? Because y'all know he know what he's talking about. Shannon, I think it was Shannon that said they thought it was interesting that the Chicago Bears announced that they would interview Eddie George for the job in Chicago, but Eddie hasn't coached. At least I don't think he coached in NFL. Do y'all know if Eddie George, did he coach in the NFL? Let me look. I'm going somewhere with that. Eddie George coaching in the NFL. So Shannon is saying that they don't think that the Bears were ever really serious because if Eddie George has never coached in the NFL, why would they go and get him from Tennessee State, a college, regardless of the college, and say they're going to interview him from a head coaching job in the NFL? Why didn't they just interview an already established offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator? That's the question. And I'm like, I mean, that's a valid point, right? So that's why I'm watching to see what happens with Aaron Glenn, because he is a defensive coordinator, but the offensive coordinator got picked up like that. And they're saying that Ben Johnson chose Chicago because, of Caleb Williams, being a young quarterback. And I'm like, okay. So it'll be interesting to see where Aaron Glenn lands. Yes, Uncle Shay. Yeah, okay. So yeah, he knows what he's talking about. It said, Kiel said, those players that you want to be sent to those teams, they have to be drafted. Oh, I know. We just hypothetically talking. Like, as Colorado Buffalo fans, like, which of our faves that are declaring for the draft would we pair up with a player that's actually getting drafted? So yes, Kiel, I got it. We were just having a little fun. Just hypothetically. He only coached college HBCU. So Shannon is right. How serious were you really if he hadn't coached in the NFL yet? And most of the people that get the jobs come from, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, assistant coach for years. So it kind of does make you wonder if the Chicago Bears were playing it's called the Rooney Rule when it came to Eddie George. But I hate that because I do think it would be good for him to be hired by, he has paid his time. He put in his dues at Tennessee State. He actually took them to a championship for their conference or something like that. I think they played North Dakota or South Dakota or something like that. But they went to some kind of conference game and they won. So I could see him coaching the NFL next, and my fingers are crossed for Eddie George. So I hope the Chicago Bears were not playing with the Rooney Rule because it wasn't intended to pacify people. It was intended to create equality. So we're going to leave that right there, and we're going to keep an eye out and see where Aaron Glenn lands. Current defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Yes, we're just matching them up. Yeah, we're just having fun, Kiel, with it. Trying to get all of our guys, seeing where they all could end up together and be good. Okay, y'all, am I still delayed or did it get resolved? Let me know. So it's asking me, do I want full HD quality? No, I want full audio quality. I want full audio quality. Default. Let me see. All right, y'all. Let me know if y'all notice a difference in about 2 minutes. Like I said, the audio input seems to be working pretty well. I'm just checking the default speaker on the laptop just to make sure it's doing well. So you sound good to me. But is it delayed though? Like earlier, there seems to be some type of delay between my speech and the audio. Let me know. Thank you, Queen T. It said, Kiel, the offensive coordinator, he calls the plays. It get relayed to the head coach. Then the quarterback afterwards execute the plays. Oh, really? The offensive coordinator calls the plays. So that's Pat Schumer. He relays it to the head coach. Does the head coach make a decision? Like, he don't say anything unless he don't like the play? And then the quarterback afterwards the quarterback executes. Okay, thank you for that. That's good insight. I didn't know that so that's what the headsets are for. Okay, I understand. He didn't get a coach. They're still interviewing candidates with the coaching position. Who are you talking about? Chicago? Yeah, it's still delayed. Okay, delayed. Thank you. That's what I was trying to figure out. All right. I hope this is not how this works. You on the phone? Okay, let's see. All right. So, okay, I tried another. There's three microphones. It's default, community, and speaker. So I'm trying all three. I just switched. So let me know. I don't like this. I set all of this up. It better work. So Kiel, he didn't get a coach. Who didn't get a coach? Are you talking about Chicago? Because I thought they said Chicago hired for sure Ben Johnson, and he made his first speech. Let me know. But I thought that's what was confirmed throughout the day. In fact, I caught myself trying to watch his speech to see what he was going to say. Let's see. Checking. All right. So the defensive coordinator from the Detroit Lions, he does not need to take that New York Jets job. They are a total mess. In fact, isn't the Saints a mess too? That was the headline I think I saw regarding Aaron Glenn. It said Aaron Glenn could land at one of two organizations that are in disarray. That was the effect of the wording. And to me, they said he was a favorite to go to one of the organizations that was in disarray. We know Chicago is off the table. We know Vegas is not in disarray. That's the Saints or the Jets. So who you think is going to head coach for the Cowboys? Well, Aaron Glenn's name came up, but it's not him. They actually said it was somebody. Let me see. They said they actually threw out somebody today because Coach Prime was off the list. I don't think there was ever an interview with Dallas with Coach Prime, though. It's not like you know everybody that's interviewing. I mean, honestly, Aaron Glenn played for the Dallas Cowboys, so you would think he would be a lock, but that ain't gonna happen. Only because he's a defensive coordinator and they got quarterback issues too, but they got team issues. Oh, I know who it was. They said the person in the running for the Dallas Cowboys job is an assistant coach with no head coaching experience. That's what it was. That's what I heard. And people were like, he must be able to. In other words, it's somebody that Jerry Jones can kind of, control. And that's the kind of people he seeks out. So okay, so they expect somebody 2 hours ago. This is the most recent. Schottenheimer is expected to interview. It's not Aaron Glenn. It's Schottenheimer. Let's see who. I think Schottenheimer is a assistant coach. Let me see. The search for the next head coach, Dallas Cowboy, continues. It's not exclusive to candidates that are currently outside of the. And Schottenheimer, the team's current offensive coordinator, who contract expired alongside that of Mike McCarthy. Well, they said he was an assistant, but if he's an offensive coordinator, he's not an assistant. It sounds like they're looking at their OC. That's what it said. Salute. Thank you, Blue Devil. Well, T, it sounds like they looking at the offensive coordinator, Schottenheimer. I don't know. It said he joined the Cowboys in 22 as a coaching analyst. This is what they're talking about. Then Schottenheimer was promoted to the role of offensive coordinator in 2023. Now that's a huge leap. That's a huge leap. Following the departure of Kellen Moore from that role. And that's where he spent the last seasons in Dallas. I wonder if he's related to somebody in the organization. Because how do you go from analyst to offensive coordinator to head coach, all from 2022 to 2025? Okay, let's just be real. 2024. That's 2 years. That's some serious leapfrog there. The Rooney Rule. Oh, okay. Gracie said that's better than. Oh, what are we talking about? Oh, okay. The message popped up on the screen. I like how it popped up. It says, what does it say? If Coach Prime is not on the list, Queen T said, if Coach Prime is not on the list, it won't be Aaron Glenn because they said the Cowboys haven't had a black coach. Yeah, no, it's not going to be Aaron Glenn. It's not. If they going to somebody that's only been with in the organization, was an analyst in 22, promoted to OC, and now he leapfrogs to the head coach. Yeah. I think if I work for Dallas, I'll be putting out my resume, trying to find something else that offers some type of stability and fairness, because that's crazy. Shame on Dak Prescott. He getting paid all that money just to be trash. That's from D-Lay. D-Lay is not happy. Not happy. Not happy. The Rooney Rule. All right, let's see. The Rooney Rule. This is from Kiel. The Rooney Rule, that's why they have to interview so many minority candidates for these jobs in the NFL for the team. For the team will get fined and they could lose the draft picks. What? I didn't even know that. Thank you for that, Kiel. Appreciate that insight. And that's not fair if they're using it to just say, check off the box, but they're not serious. But that was the question Shannon Sharp raised about Eddie George. And I kind of can understand what he's saying. But then when you look at this Dallas Cowboys coaching search, what this young man was an analyst in 22, an offensive coordinator, and then now potential head coach. Nah, that's not good. That's better than. Gracie, you said that's better than. What you referring to? Yeah, Dak Prescott looked like he did pull the Deshaun Watson, got his contract and got hurt or didn't play, and that seems to be what happened with the two of them in different respects. But that's what it's saying. So. Okay. See, this is why I like this software. I can highlight individual comments right here in front of us, and y'all can still see the chat overlay. Yay! Let me know if the audio is getting any better or the delay. Let me know. I've switched to every audio setting there is for output. I like Dak Prescott, but he's like Dan Pastrano years ago. He would take the team so far and could never cross over to a Super Bowl, in my opinion. Okay, Queen T. All right. Anybody thinks that Lamar Jackson gonna actually get to the Super Bowl with Baltimore? Let me know your thoughts. Let me have a sip of my chocolate milk, because y'all know I'm loaded. So in terms of comments, I want to see what y'all say first. I ought to make that a poll. Is Lamar Jackson going? Do you think Lamar Jackson can get to the Super Bowl under Jim Harbaugh? That's the question. That's the real question. The delay. Oh, it's better? Okay, that's good. It's better. Okay, thank you. All right. And I'm plugged in. I wanted to make sure I'm plugged in to make sure there was no issue. Yep, I'm plugged in. Okay, thank you, Gracie, to know that the all right. So I put Kiel's message about the Rooney Rule. We talked about Eddie George and how Shannon Sharp expressed concern for is the Rooney Rule being used to pacify and check off a box rather than create equality. I do think it is very interesting that the defensive coordinator from the Detroit Lions still doesn't know what team he's going to coach for, but the offensive coordinator is already gone and has already been interviewed by Vegas and Chicago, and has the job in Chicago that Eddie George was going to, that they said he interviewed for. So they must have made their decision right afterwards. So Dallas didn't get a coach. No, Dallas doesn't have a coach, but 2 hours ago, they reported that they are looking to interview from within Schottenheimer. Is that his name? Wait a minute. 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 Is that his name? Have y'all heard of Marty Schottenheimer? Who is that? Why does that name sound familiar? Because this man's last name, that was an analyst that actually leapfrogged to offensive coordinator that's about to possibly leapfrog to head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, last name is Schottenheimer. And I think that sounds like a legendary last name in the NFL. What? Marty Schottenheimer. Here we go. Martin Edward Schottenheimer passed away February 8, 2021, was an American professional linebacker and coach who served as head coach of the NFL for 21 seasons. He was a head coach of the Cleveland Browns, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Washington Redskins, and San Diego Chargers. After coaching the NFL, he won a 2011 championship with the Virginia Destroyers of the United Football League, and he was inducted into the Kansas City Chiefs Hall of Fame. His last name is Schottenheimer. Is that his son or his nephew? That's not a common last name. Let's see. Hold on. Let me do some research right fast. Marty Schottenheimer's children. So it is possible. That's why this young man is leapfrogging around like that, because this could be his dad, his uncle, his grandpa. What? That would make sense. Not that it's right, not that it would be beneficial, but it would explain the leaps and how you move around like that. That's the only way you get around like that. Like if you come from the Harbaugh family or one of those other, the Manning family, Marty Schottenheimer. Yup. He passed away in 2021. It could be a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. Brian Schottenheimer, the son of the late Marty Schottenheimer, has never been a head coach. He has been an assistant since 1977 on the NFL and college level, but he has never been an offensive coordinator for 4 NFL teams. Brian Schottenheimer is the new betting favorite to be the Dallas Cowboys head coach. There it is. There it is. That's the connection. That's Marty Schottenheimer's son. He was an analyst in the NFL in 2022. Then he leapfrogged to offensive coordinator. Now we know Dallas didn't do so good this year, right? What was their final record? And what was Dallas's major problem? Did it have anything to do with the offense? And this offensive coordinator could possibly be the head coach. Well, there you go. There it is. Offensive coordinator, that's for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's running for the Dallas Cowboys. Head coaching job is Callum Moore. Wait a minute. Is that what that said? No. It just said, nope. Brian Schottenheimer is the new betting favorite to be the Dallas Cowboy head coach 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago. Kiel, I think it's about to be him. Marty Schottenheimer's son. Let's see. It said that's for the Eagles. Wait, what happened? Coach Prime and Jerry Jones used each other for CU and for the Cowboys to interview a black head coach. But they didn't interview him, though. You can't just say it. You have to actually interview, right? No, I think Lamar liked to take it on his own. It's something missed with Lamar because they go to the playoffs every year and never cross over. Okay, hold on to that. All right. So we have cleared up who Brian Schottenheimer is, how it is he can go from how it is he can go from an analyst in 2022 to hold on one second. All right. How he can go from an analyst in 2022 to an offensive coordinator. Now, you know, an analyst is not a coach, right? You're an analyst. Like right now, Warren Sapp is an analyst. He's a good one, but he's an analyst. The coach name, there's a coach on that staff. Outside of Dancy, it was Damian Lewis. That's actually, Damian Lewis, I believe, is actually a coach. So this person, Schottenheimer's son, was an analyst in 2022. He leapfrogged from analyst to offensive coordinator. And now, we're only in 2025. And now he's being considered for head coach. It wouldn't surprise me if that's done by the time we get to Friday. Because to me, that's the type of person that Jerry Jones would pick. Dallas didn't get a coach. No, but they are looking at Schottenheimer, Marty Schottenheimer's son, Brian Schottenheimer. And that was announced 2 hours ago. And we just put the 2 and 2 together to realize that that is Marty Schottenheimer's son. Okay, Queen T said she thinks Lamar Jackson liked to take it on his own. All right. So I want y'all to think about this, and I'm getting ready to say this, and I'm probably going to speak on this again. Here's my issue with the Baltimore Ravens, okay? Just being in the football orbit, you knew one of the major problems that Baltimore almost had from the time they brought in Odell Beckham Jr. before and after, right? They kept saying Lamar didn't have anybody to throw to, right? And then they get Likely. Is his name Isaiah Likely? Is his first name Isaiah? Somebody let me know. I want to say the wrong thing. His name, his jersey is number 80. His last name is Likely. Hold on one second. Isaiah Likely. Okay, so they get Isaiah Likely. Then they said, okay, we got somebody to throw to. Now we don't want Lamar to have to do everything. So y'all know Lamar's passing yards are like at 4,000. His rushing yards are like at 1,000. But that was with Derrick Henry. So even Derrick Henry has good numbers, right? So that means they got Isaiah Likely, who filled we need somebody to throw to. Then they said we need Derrick Henry, so Lamar Jackson doesn't do everything, right? So they get all the way to the playoffs. Now, right now, if you look at the stats for the playoffs, the top 3 players, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and Isaiah Likely. Okay, so that meant you had everything you needed. But when it became crunch time for the Baltimore Ravens, you didn't use the assets you acquired. You went back to the old standard. The assets that you acquired were Derrick Henry, that some complained and say they abandoned the run too early because he only had 21 yards in the first half. And in the second half, he was able to be effective, right? So if Derrick Henry was effective in the second half, why is it he didn't take in the 2-point conversion? Okay, it's icy. Maybe it wouldn't have worked. Let's talk about that. Okay, because I, for one, didn't think it needed to be a run. I didn't, because of the conditions that he was getting stopped, and they kind of expected that. So then let's go here. Derrick Henry, maybe that wouldn't work. Isaiah Likely had proven to be reliable in this game. Bills versus Ravens, Isaiah Likely proved to be reliable. Y'all saw that LaJohntay Wester type pass he caught when he slid on the ice. Not only did he slide on the ice, he caught the ball and he protected it for the 6-point score, right? So once again, you know Likely is reliable. You know this. And by then, you also knew, by the time you got to that last 2-point conversion, you also knew that number 89 was not reliable in this game. You knew for a fact he wasn't reliable, because so all surrounding halftime is when his egregious errors occurred. He missed a wide open pass, missed it. Did you realize that they were throwing the ball your way? That's how bad that miss was. That was a crucial catch, a crucial miss. Then after halftime comes the ball, the fumble, right? Not protecting the ball. They strip it. The third one is the 2-point conversion. So you had a choice. At this point, you know, before we do this 2-point conversion, you know for a fact that Mark Andrews was not reliable. You also knew for a fact that Isaiah Likely was. So you abandoned the run in Derrick Henry that you brought in to help Lamar. You abandoned Isaiah Likely that you brought in so Lamar could have somebody with hands to throw to. And you go to a player who was proven to be unreliable for your last 2-point conversion. And it didn't work, and you're surprised. Everything you brought in to be successful, you abandoned to go to the old standard, number 89, who had proven himself to be unreliable. The question is, did the coaching staff really want to win? Because if you really wanted to win, it should have been Derrick Henry or Isaiah Likely. You didn't use either one of them. You didn't want to win. They didn't. They did not want to win. They knew that Mark Andrews was unreliable. This was not even a question. And yet they rolled the dice. Okay, we know he hadn't been reliable all night, but he was reliable for us all season. So we're gonna roll the dice and hope he catch it. That's not a winning attitude. A winning attitude would have been Derrick Henry or Isaiah Likely. They didn't want to win. They were willing to roll the dice. This is why Lamar Jackson will not go to a Super Bowl until they get rid of Harbaugh or somebody on that coaching staff that actually looks at the opportunity, all the hard work, and all the assets that the team brought in to be successful and commits to them. Why choose 89 when it was obvious early on he was unreliable? You wanted him to be the hero, but you didn't want to win the game. 89 it don't matter that he's a pro tight end. He wasn't he wasn't playing like a pro tight end in this game. And I have a problem with Harbaugh's post-game speech by saying, well, he had been good for us all season. He wasn't good for you in this game. If you wanted to win, why would you roll the dice? You go out there and explain to those Baltimore Ravens fans who saw that man was not reliable, that Likely was the person you brought in, and you still chose to roll the dice. They didn't want to win. That's not a winning attitude. That's me trying to pacify number 89. That's me trying to tinker with something. You had Isaiah Likely, who showed you he was reliable. I don't care what that man did all season long. We are in the playoffs. And on this particular game, the last 2-point conversion, well before the last 2-point conversion, he had already had 2 egregious errors. He showed you, I'm not reliable tonight. But you wanted to force him to be reliable, like the Detroit Lions wanted to force Jared Goff. And guess what? They rolled the dice and lost. Now what are they saying? Yeah, we think maybe Jared Goff might not be the answer for the Detroit Lions. Really? Is he not the answer, or is your coach not the answer? Your coach is the one who kept putting Jared Goff back in when he easily could have put it in Teddy Bridgewater. Same thing with Jim Harbaugh. Whoever decided to put 89 in after he had proven himself to be unreliable in this game, feel free to blame the ice. Feel free to blame the weather. Feel free to blame his gloves. But the point is, you knew well before the 2-point conversion that number 89, I don't know his name, Mark Andrews, was unreliable. And you had an opportunity to see that Isaiah Likely did not struggle with the elements at all. He slid, caught the ball, and protected it. If you weren't going to Derrick Henry on the 2-point conversion that you brought in so Lamar don't have to do everything, then you should have went to Isaiah Likely that you brought in so Lamar could have somebody to throw to. All the Baltimore Ravens coaching staff did was roll the dice, and they lost. That's why Harbaugh is saying, well, he was good for us in the season. Bro, I know you have eyes. I'm sitting on my couch, and I'm nobody's coach. And I'm screaming on my podcast, don't put 89 in. Don't put 89 in. And what do? Put 89 in. They did not want to win. I'm telling you, they didn't want to win. They didn't want to win. They didn't want to win. I'm upset about the game, Regina, because they could have won. Here's the thing. Maybe they couldn't have won. They could have tied it up. And people are like, well, y'all know that the Baltimore, that the Bills could have marched down the field and scored. Says who? Because we saw how effective that the Baltimore Ravens defense was at preventing a 7-point. They went to a 3-point. Okay, maybe. But the point is, it would have been nice to try to find out. but to toss the game to the wind and put 89 in, who had proven himself reliable. You know how he had messed up badly all night? The cameraman went straight to him. And he went sit on the bench and he didn't look upset at all. To me, Lamar Jackson is not going to be able to go to the Super Bowl until Baltimore commits to going to the Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson. How do you go get Derrick Henry and Isaiah Likely, but you throw to Mark Andrews? How long Mark Andrews been in Baltimore? Somebody tell me. They said he's $14 million player? He's not new to this. So why go get Isaiah Likely? And when it comes to being crucial, you give it to Mark Andrews, who had proven that he had 2 crucial misses already. How many times do you give somebody a chance to get it right before you lose the game? The Detroit Lions did the same thing with Jared Goff. They had Teddy Bridgewater right there. They just didn't want to go to him, just like they didn't want to go to Isaiah Likely or Derrick Henry, even though we went through all the trouble to bring them here so we could win. That was a boneheaded decision to go to Mark Andrews when you brought in Isaiah Likely and Derrick Henry. Tell me I'm wrong. Jerry is interviewing him also. He what? He threw the ball behind him. Nah, he didn't. That ball hit that man right here in the chest. Jerry is inviting him also. Thank you, Blue Devil, but he hit him. He didn't throw the ball behind him. He threw the ball right here. The point is, I bet if he'd have threw it behind Isaiah Likely, he would have caught it. That's my point. Did you see the catch that Isaiah Likely made sliding on the ice and securing the ball? Nobody else had multiple drops that night. Nobody had multiple misses. Nobody else had multiple drops. Nobody. Like, that's crazy. Not nobody on the receiving side. Whether there were other tight ends, why they didn't go to nobody else? The point is they abandoned the commitment. The commitment was to bring in Derrick Henry. The commitment was to bring in Isaiah Likely. But then I don't go with Derrick Henry or Isaiah Likely. Somebody tell me how long Mark Andrews been a Baltimore Raven. I would love to know what that number is. If it's more than 5 years, if it's more than 10 years, he's been around long enough for them to know they couldn't win with him. And they went and got Isaiah Likely. But they abandoned the commitment to win, to pacify what? Whatever it is that the Detroit Lions wanted to pacify. And it was the exact same reason why they didn't put in Teddy Bridgewater. Politics. These people would rather lose. Some of these teams would rather freaking lose than let Teddy Bridgewater be the star, or to lose rather than let Derrick Henry or Isaiah Likely be the star, and for Lamar Jackson to actually get to a Super Bowl. Because y'all know they was trying to convert him to a wide receiver. And that could still be following him because he said no. He was left to sit there and rot in the draft, going last after his counterparts went top 10. So what? They over it now? To me, if Lamar Jackson want to win, he need to go to an organization that has a new mindset. That is like, you know what? Forget all this. Who we want to get the ball to? We want to win. If you're struggling in a game, how many drops and misses do you get in a playoff game before somebody bench you and put in the person they brought in to catch the ball? Answer that question. How many drops and misses do you get in a playoff game to get to the Super Bowl before the coach changes and puts in somebody that has proven that they can catch the ball all night? Yes, I'm still upset. I'm sorry. I don't like it. Because they could have at least tied it, and we don't know what would have happened. But all we have now is speculation. Oh, this, oh, that. And people going in on Lamar Jackson like he's not a damn good quarterback. He is. He's in an organization that's not committed to winning. Like he said, I'm sick of this. I don't blame him. They're not committed to winning, bro. They brought in Derrick Henry and Isaiah Likely, and you didn't get to throw the Likely, and you didn't get to pass off the ball to Derrick Henry on a 2-point conversion when it counted. They too comfortable with losing. He's a top tight end, but he didn't perform like a top tight end, Blue Devil, in that game. If you saw that game, you know Andrews was not playing like a top tight end. I'm not okay with his performance. I'm not. He didn't have 2 egregious errors. He had 3. He had 1 miss and he had 2 drops, a fumble and a flat out ass. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Derek Likely was right next to him, being covered by somebody else. They could have easily threw that ball to him. He's just because you a top tight end doesn't mean you were playing your best all night and you deserve to get the ball. It doesn't. I don't even know why people play like that. So you're not committed to winning. You committed to him having the title of being a top 4 tight end. So that's why you threw him the ball. Not because you ignored that he's struggling, because he's a top tight end. You want him to get the ball. Screw that, bro. We trying to get to the Super Bowl. Send the ball to Likely. He proved in the elements he could still catch, hold, protect, and score. I don't care what kind of tight end he was. I really don't. I really don't. That don't do nobody no good if he's playing horribly. Jerry is interviewing him also. Who is Jerry interviewing? Regina, I'm coaching right now. Because y'all heard me say it on that live. I said, don't give 89 the ball. If I could see it, you trying to tell me that coaching staff that get paid millions of dollars who's standing right there couldn't see it? Come on now, bro. They messed this up. They owe Lamar Jackson an apology. That's what they do. They owe Lamar Jackson and the rest, they Likely and Derrick Henry, all of them guys who was out there getting it done on the defense too. They owe them an apology because somebody decided to roll the dice when they should have just stuck to the commitment to get to the Super Bowl. I don't give a damn if he's supposed to be a top 4 tight end. He was not playing like a top 4 tight end in that game well early on before we got to the last 2-point conversion. I mean, how many times you got to let a person mess up before you sit him down somewhere? You worried about his feelings because he a top 4 tight end? Who cares? Now you at home. So, and he's still a top 4 tight end. The fuck? I don't like that. That's not right. That's not why we pay the money we pay and invest the time that we invest to watch these teams get to the next level. I'm just saying, yeah, okay. welcome. I'm just saying, it's not right. And I keep hearing people say that. Harbaugh said the same thing. Well, he had been reliable for us all year. Did you not watch the game, sir? Were your eyes not open and watching this man struggle before halftime, right after halftime? He was practically showing you, don't throw me the last ball. Don't do it. He was basically telling you, without telling you, I'm not reliable. He told you. He sent you a message, not once, but twice before the third time. And you ignored it because he's a top 4 tight end. That means you're not committed to winning. You're committed to him being a top 4 tight end. And that's not what everybody else deserves on that team. That's not right. I don't give a damn about his title. His title is the reason they at home, because you care more about him and his feelings and him being a top 4 tight end than you did about who was reliable in that game, Isaiah Likely. I'm not even a Baltimore Ravens fan and I know his damn name. Also, postseason stats. Guess who they go to? Lamar Jackson, Isaiah Likely, and Derrick Henry. The 2 damn people that they didn't even try to get the 2-point conversion to. They are not committed to winning. They committed to making sure that Mark Andrews is a top 4 tight end. That's what they're committed to. They're not committed to Lamar Jackson. If they were committed to Lamar Jackson, Isaiah Likely would have got that ball. Derrick Henry that ball would have been passed to him. They're not even committed to Lamar Jackson. They ain't committed to the Super Bowl. They committed to shit that don't have nothing to do with NFL football. Oh, well, he was reliable during the season, so that's what you want to protect. Okay, cool. All right. Lamar Jackson need to get up out of there because they're not going to get rid of them coaches. And if the Detroit Lions can say, oh, I think we might have a problem where Jared Goff is concerned, how long before we hear the Baltimore Ravens say, yeah, I think we might have a problem where Mark Andrews is concerned? He's going to be right there. It's teams like that, I can't watch you play because my time is too valuable for me to be sitting up here watching you try to pacify somebody's top 4 tight end status when you sitting there watching them struggle. The man practically told you in non-verbal cues with the 2 mess ups, one before, one right after the halftime. I said I was going to put it together, take it off of my live. It said, do you hear me yelling? Do not give the ball to number 89. Do not give the ball to number 89. And what do? I'm like, honestly, I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it. You know, Lamar Jackson's going to have to ask himself, do y'all value me? Because I've been out here struggling for how many years trying to get here? Look at Derrick Henry. You went and got Derrick Henry and brought him here. And then what did you do? Not utilize him. Isaiah Likely, you went and got him, brought him here. And what did you do? In crunch time, go to somebody that's not even one of your top performers in the postseason. So screw and save me with that top 4 tight end crap if he playing like trash. He knew he was playing like trash. I bet $10 he was like, I tried to tell you I wasn't doing good. You just didn't want to listen to me. He knew he was playing horribly himself. Y'all was too worried about his feelings that you like, you know what? I know he messed up twice before and he not doing good. But hey, just go and get about him again. So that's what you committed to. Lamar Jackson better start asking yourself some hard questions. Who you really committed to? Because it ain't the Super Bowl. It ain't the Super Bowl. They could have tied that game. But now Lamar Jackson taking all of this heat. Please. And now people talking about he overthrew the ball. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear nothing like that. That man had a comeback second half, if I've ever seen one, by marching his team down the field with 88 freaking yards for the person who had messed up twice before on 2 crucial plays. People keep saying he had 2 bad. No, he had 3 egregious, crucial plays that he messed up on. He failed on a wide open pass that I'm still not 100% sure if he even raised up his hands to try to get it. That was the first clue that it was something going on with him. Then when they came back, I'm like, okay, you running, it's cold, and somebody come along and they knock the ball out your hand. But do you think that was the best way for you to protect it? Because I watched Isaiah Likely fall down to the ground, slide on the snow, and still manage to catch, protect, and score a touchdown. Same weather. But isn't that why you brought Isaiah Likely in? Right. Okay. That's what I thought. Isaiah Likely would have for sure caught that pass. Hell yeah, would have caught that pass. The pass that Isaiah Likely caught was basically, hey, go to him. They didn't want to win. They knew, oh boy was having a bad night. They just wanted to protect his feelings. Oh, let's make him feel better by giving him the last pass. Do you want to win or what? We don't have time to be pacifying folks' feelings. That's what they did. Trust me, that's what they did. That's what they did. Thank you, Regina. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But yeah, I know I'm upset. I'm upset because it's wrong. It's wrong. We are here to watch a football game, a competitive sport where we watching Lamar Jackson, who has taken all kind of heat. This man got to be the most hated quarterback in the NFL, all because he wanted to be a quarterback after winning the Heisman at Louisville. Because he said, I want to work out as a quarterback. I don't want to be a wide receiver. Telling him he could go early in the draft. And now I check the stories on the internet. They trying to clean all that up and make it look like, oh no, everything was good with Lamar Jackson. We was just hoping he failed to last so we can get him. Yeah, okay. But that's not what was being said at the time. So my point is, this was Lamar Jackson's moment. And to me, this is like a illustration that his organization is not committed to getting to the next level with him as quarterback. So he needs to figure out what he's going to do. Because he can win a quarterback, but he's being held back. Because if those people wanted to win, Isaiah Likely, who had proven he was reliable in that game, would have been the one to catch that ball. I stand on it. I argue 10 toes down with Jim Harbaugh, anybody else, if they want to talk about it. They're not committed to winning with Lamar Jackson as quarterback. 89 was there when they had no one to throw the ball to. Bro, don't nobody care about the past. Don't nobody care that this man was good in the offseason. And if he was there when they have nobody to throw the ball to and they still didn't get nowhere, what does that say? What does that say? So they gonna throw him the ball because he loyal? He been there? He's loyal to his paycheck. Come on now. Like, he was there when they had nobody to throw the ball to. And here we are. They've never been to the Super Bowl. Like, come on now. Like, that's why they threw him the ball. See, that's not being committed to winning, Blue Devil. That's committed to because he's been here this long. Thank you, Regina. Thank you, Regina. Thank you for the super chat. But now, it's wrong, guys. It's wrong. They're not committed to winning. They would have at least tied the game if they were committed to winning. They're not committed to winning. So that's just not right. And I just think it's wrong because Lamar Jackson has paid his dues. But what he doesn't realize is chances are he's in an organization that prioritizes pacifying somebody, or because he was here before Likely and Derrick Henry, let me throw him the ball. No, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. And that's not fair to Lamar Jackson or anybody else. That's just not fair. Like this is not, these are people's livelihoods that we're playing with. So that's why I feel like, I don't know. I know y'all like, damn, she upset. Yeah, I'm upset. Yeah, I'm upset. It were guys on that team that were upset, but they can't speak out. They can't be honest. They can't talk about how they really feel, because then the media will go and turn it into something else, and put them in a situation where, they could be retaliated against. I'm a fan. I can be honest. I can say they are clearly not committed to winning because they didn't use the resources that they brought in to win. So that's why I'm saying that. Like, but him being a top 4 tight end, that means nothing because he didn't play like one. Have a good night, Regina. Okay, I was trying to highlight this. Thank you for the super chat, Regina. I highlighted it, but you might be gone. But thank you so much. I appreciate y'all for supporting. But yeah, I'm upset. And the crazy part is, I was gonna make a video about this last night. But you know what I said to myself? I said, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna just let it go. I said I was gonna let it go because just let it go. And today it came right back. And you see how I've been holding that in? I was supposed to make a standalone video, a long form video about this, because Lamar Jackson needs to understand the writing is on the wall. You have to ask yourself, how committed to winning are they when they don't, in crunch time, go to the resources that they brought in to win? Derrick Henry and Isaiah Likely. So that's that. That's that on that. So I guess maybe we should call it a night. Maybe I know I'm not the only person to feel that way. I'm just, a regular person. I'm not I'm not a regular person. Put it this way, I'm not associated with the NFL. So people associated with the NFL, they can't say it. And people, don't understand that, yeah, you can make a mistake early on in the first half. But when you come back and you make adjustments and you get it together, yeah, but it is what it is. It's a hot mess. So you think they do it on purpose to keep black running stereotype? All right, I'm gonna say this. What I think is, I don't want to think that they did it on purpose, but it was highly suspicious. It was highly suspicious because Mark Andrews is white. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Isaiah Likely are all black. And I don't know. I just feel like, I'm going to say this. I don't think they were committed to winning. I don't think they were committed to winning because they saw Mark Andrews struggling. The cameraman saw Mark Andrews struggling. I saw Mark Andrews struggling. Everybody saw Mark Andrews struggling. And the response from Harbaugh was just shrug his shoulders. He had been reliable for us all season, ignoring the fact that he was not reliable all night. You're not committed to winning if you didn't want to see that he was struggling all night. It's almost like he's saying, well, yeah, we kept throwing to him because he'd been reliable to us all season. So you abandoned the win. You abandoned the opportunity to win because somebody who's typically reliable wasn't being reliable. So you trying to work with him during a playoff game to get him back on track. That's what you're doing during a playoff game when we this close to getting to the championship. They weren't committed to winning. That's why I say Lamar Jackson gonna have to sit down and pray and talk to God and ask God to make, what they say, make the crooked places straight, give him eyes to see his truth and ears to hear his voice. Because sometimes, see, Lamar Jackson, that's his first team. You never know. He might want to retire a Raven. But if he want to go to the Super Bowl, he going to need to move on. He going to need to go somewhere that is committed to winning. The Commanders are committed to winning. That's what I mean. When I say committed to winning, forget all this dumb crap. Forget the politics. We want to win. Commanders are committed to winning. The Baltimore Ravens are not. Not with Lamar Jackson as quarterback. No, I've never seen it like that. But you bring a different point of view. You got me thinking. Thank you, Queen T. Absolutely. If you want to win, I said the same thing. Those of us that got together and watched Detroit, I said the same thing during the Detroit game. How long are you going to let Jared Goff struggle before you put Teddy Bridgewater back in so he could kind of save the momentum, shape the momentum. But to me, and I've seen this happen with the Atlanta Hawks, what y'all don't understand about some of these organizations, y'all want to win. Some of them, cool with losing. If the star player is struggling, some of these organizations not going to take the star player out, which is probably why the Detroit Lions lost, because they was willing to give Jared Goff time to get it together rather than sit him down and put Teddy Bridgewater in. They can't blame Jared Goff for that. It's clear that Jared Goff was struggling, but they didn't want to make the change because it's Jared Goff. So what do you want to do? You want to have Jared Goff or you want to win? Some of these organizations, they're not committed to it. They're not committed to winning. Baltimore is one of them. There's no way that coach could have just, Jim Harbaugh could have just, whatever his last name, Harbaugh, I forget his first name. There's no way that he could have just went, well, I mean, he had been reliable for us all season. Bro, we talking about right here and now. He never addressed it because he knew he was struggling and he didn't take him out, because it was more important that Mark Andrews be given the opportunity to not look bad than it was to win. All right. See you later, Herman. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you came back, Herman. Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you all. The truth will set us free. It will. It will. I've never seen it like that. You bring a different perspective. Thank you, T. You want into a rant. Yes, I did. I've been holding this in. Like I told you, I was going to make a video. I said, you know what? I'm going to abandon it. I'm not worried about it. I'll move on. This was something that needed to be said because it's true. Fans actually put their emotionally tied to these teams. And a lot of fans think that these teams want to win just like we want to win. But I've seen it firsthand in the NBA that sometimes if the star is struggling, they'll let it all go up in flames just so the star don't have to get benched. And to me, Detroit Lions, that's why they went home. Baltimore Ravens, that's why they went home. Jared Goff was struggling. They didn't take him out. They could have took him out, put Teddy Bridgewater in. But no, Jared Goff is the star. How am I going to sit my star? So we just going to lose. Same thing with Baltimore. Y'all keep saying Lamar Jackson is the star. Lamar Jackson is the star, but Mark Andrews was allowed to struggle over and over and over and to actually at the sake of winning. And they still put him in when they know they brought in Isaiah Likely and Henry, and they didn't use either one of them to win. Why bring in the resources to win and abandon those resources and give it to somebody that was already there when y'all couldn't get it done? Because it's not about Lamar Jackson. It's not about the Super Bowl. I just say delayed. They just not committed to winning. That's all. They just not committed to winning for whatever reasons. Who knows what these conversations are really like? But it's not hard to see that I'm committed to getting to the playoffs, but I might not be committed to get to the Super Bowl. Maybe I don't want to get to the Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson as my quarterback. Because remember, there were many people in the NFL who said that Lamar Jackson would never be a good quarterback, even though he won the 2016 Heisman for a quarterback. So, all right, that's it. That was unexpected. I guess I had asked that issue. But I just hate to see a good person like Lamar Jackson, who we know can get it done, be put in a situation where the organization would not prioritize winning. They would choose to prioritize, let's give Mark Andrews an opportunity to recover and get it right. That's what the priority became. And that's not winning. So that's it. That's it. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say goodnight. I'm going to get out of here. I hope the delay caught itself up. I really do. I'm gonna have to test it out some kind of way and see if it's been resolved. But I hope y'all enjoyed the new setup. I guess I'll just see y'all later on. Thank y'all for watching What She Said. You lost with your star player. Who lost with their star player? I've never seen it like that. Who lost with their star player, Blue Devil? Nah, the Detroit Lions lost with their star player. That's who lost with their star player. But that ain't on Jared Goff, in my opinion. That's on the coach. And that's what teams never want to talk about. It's time to dismiss this coach. They don't want to do that because then they got to find somebody else. All right, y'all. I'm hoping the delay has caught up. I'm saying good night. I will see y'all another day. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern on our daily podcast. Hopefully, we can move past the Lamar Jackson situation unless something new happens. But y'all see what's up. Good night, y'all. I appreciate it. You think the higher ups got to do something to do with this? I do. Blue Devil, I do. I think the people that spent the money to bring in Derrick Henry and Isaiah Likely want to win. The question is, does the coaching staff want to win? That's the question. And I think Harbaugh has been there the entire time Lamar Jackson has been there, or somewhere close to it, maybe. All right. Good night, Queen T. Peace. Good night, y'all. Thank y'all so much. I will see y'all hopefully tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Who knows what the topic will be, but I'll figure it out midday. I have a lot of podcasts to catch up on Reach the People Media, Well Off Media, and some others out there. So we can have the latest today information, including maybe a new mock draft. Queen T, you 100% correct. Jerry Jones is mastering. He wants to keep control of it. Yep, they've said that multiple times too. That is his father, the coach, the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Redskins. Yeah, his father was the coach of those teams. Yeah, it did say that. Marty Schottenheimer. So yeah, his son, Brian Schottenheimer, is being considered for the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. That's absolute. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all soon. The scenario showed itself with the Falcons. Struggled with, yeah, absolutely, Gracie. And I'm in Atlanta, and they have said that Atlanta organizations I saw it firsthand with the Atlanta Hawks. I was so disappointed. I realized that they were willing to do whatever the star wanted. The star wanted the coach gone. The star was choosing Trey. Trey was choosing to assist the ball when he wasn't happy. He wasn't shooting threes, which is what they brought him in to do. And I remember distinctly saying, your name is Ice Trey, not Ice Assist. But that's what these organizations do. And that's why I said, is Lamar Jackson really the star? Because you would think that they would have made sure he had a reliable target. And reliable is in the game that's in front of us, the one that we're playing. And they didn't do that. So it is questionable in terms of what their priority was, but it wasn't getting to the next level. And I do think they should move on from some of those coaches. That's really what I think. We can talk about that tomorrow. But I do think that they should move on from some of those coaches. Herman, that's true. Lamar Jackson, I'm telling y'all, this man is the most hated quarterback in the NFL, even probably more so than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is hated by Dallas fans and people who pay attention. Lamar Jackson, if you pay attention to comment sections, Lamar Jackson hated by people who I don't even think watch NFL football. He's hated the way Angel Reese was hated in the WNBA. You understand what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson doesn't deserve all the disrespect he gets. And to me, to roll the dice with this young man's career, that's why he said, I'm sick of this shit. And people like, oh, he's talking about himself. I'm like, is he? Because I don't really think he was. That's just what they said. But he should be frustrated because they went out and got Derrick Henry and Isaiah Likely. And when it came to be crunch time, they abandoned the commitment to win. That's what you brought those two in for. And you didn't pass the ball to Henry. You didn't throw the ball to Likely. You abandon the commitment to win. That's why he got to ask himself some questions. $100 million QBs, that's why. Good night, Gracie. I'll see you later. That scenario showed itself. Yes, it did. All right, y'all. So most of the people off here, I see y'all still talking, so I'm going to try to answer some of y'all's comments. Let's see. It said now the media is going to bash Lamar Jackson and put the blame on him. Oh, they already started. People were willing to say that Mark Andrews' performance or lackluster performance was due to the weather, but Lamar Jackson just can't get to the next level. He can't compete at this level. That is so stereotypical. He can't compete at this level. They've said that about black quarterbacks so many times, and it's not true. And that's why I said shame on the Baltimore Ravens for putting that young man in that position, because you had the opportunity with the resources that you brought in, likely in Henry, and you abandoned it. And that is why Lamar Jackson has real questions to ask himself. Are the Ravens really committed to going to the next level with me as their quarterback? All right, y'all. I guess I'm going to see y'all later. Most of us are going out of here. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for more of What She Said. Thank you for your support and for hanging out with us. I really appreciate it.